we're making something called a Citizens Atlas of London. And the idea of this is that ordinary folk who live in London often don't get much of a say in what happens around their area and in London as a whole. And we want to make an atlas in which all sorts of different groups in different parts of London have a say about what they feel about where they live and what kind of place they'd like to have in the future. And we're going to be looking a bit at that today in terms of this particular area. Well, what we're going to be doing for the next sort of half an hour is exploring with you, using this map, what you think about the area and where you go and where you don't go and stuff like that. I just wanted to show you that maps. How many of you have actually ever used or got a paper map? Oh, right. So how do you use this paper map you've got?
I used it to see how I go to new places.
Right. So you mean if you go on holiday, for example, would you buy a map of the area you're going? Or?
Yeah.
Right.
Like I could take a map of the tube as well.
Right. Okay. So maps help you find your way around in places that you're not very familiar with, and paper maps are still useful for that. How about you? You said you had a paper map. What kind of map did you have?
If you're like looking for some kind of road, it will say where it is. Like if you were looking for Manor Road,
right?
You're here, you'll know which way to go.
Right. So you're using a paper map. Now a lot of people have maps on their phones.
Yeah.
How many of you have got phones? Okay, quite a few.
We use PS2 for them.
Yeah. Now, do you have maps on your phone? Do you have Google Maps on your phones that you use?
It's naturally on there.
Yeah, I think I've got it. I have a phone. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
But I don't use it, that's the thing.
You don't use it because do you have a phone?
Yes.
Do you have Google Maps on it? And do you use it?
Not really.
You don't?
Because I usually know where I'm going. So.
Right. Now that's a very important point. If you, particularly locally, you know your way around. You've got a kind of map in your head, really, haven't you? So if somebody who didn't know the area stopped you and asked you where to go, you'd be able to give them the directions because you know where everything is. So there's that kind of very immediate knowledge we know because we live in an area, we work in an area, we go to school in an area. But of course, if we're going to somewhere else we don't know, maybe that's when Google Maps comes into their own, do you think?
Yeah, at that point, but then I'll be like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know.
But the Google map might said I was in a place called San Francisco in America and I couldn't find my way around. And I'd never used, to be honest, Google Maps before, but they do say, carry on straight and then turn right after 50 yards or meters or whatever it is. So you do have a voice telling you where to go. But the trouble is, I found there were lots of people walking around looking at their phones and they weren't actually looking what was going on around them. So that it's sort of the map's telling you, but you're not really aware of what's going on around you, which is a kind of a loss rather than a gain, isn't it? So maps are used for different purposes. Okay, now we're going to start. Okay, so I'm just going to show you two maps that just show that they can take. There's paper maps, there's maps on our phones, digital maps, and then there are maps which tell stories. And this is an example I had made for a book that I wrote about East London and the Olympics, and I wanted a map that told something about the history, the past of East London. So this map, well, you can pass it around actually, and you can have a look at it. It actually tells you a bit about the past, stuff that was here and is no longer here. So places that were closed, places that have been knocked down, places that are to do with the whole history of the docks, for example, when this area was one of the most important docks, not only in this country but in the world. So maps can tell stories, and we're going to ask you to put some of your stories on this map. This is another kind of a map, which is actually based on. Yes, well, yeah. Well, you see, what they did was rather interesting. They asked people who lived on the outside of East London to walk and stop people and ask them, where do you think the centre of East London now is? and they would say, well, I think it's you go that way or you go that way, and they would follow whatever these people they stopped told them. So they were starting from all these different places on the outside of East London, and they all came in, and do you know where they all met up? In Westfield Shopping Centre.
What?
So the idea was the new centre of East London is in West. Anyone been to Westfield?
1,000 times.
1,000 times. Yeah, sure. So actually, it's quite accurate, this map. Although it doesn't look like an ordinary map, a normal map.
Yeah, it looks like a
It's
complex.
actually based on very ancient maps. The first maps that were ever made, people tended to put themselves in the centre of the world. So wherever they lived, if it was in London or if it was in, let's say, Jerusalem or wherever it was, they would put themselves, this is me, I'm in the centre of the world, and everything else is going on around me. So this map maker has sort of taken that idea and sort of turned it around in a way and come up with this idea of Westfield as the new East London. So maps can tell different stories, and how we use maps can tell us and other people a lot about ourselves. So now what we're going to do, we're going to start by asking you, looking at this map, taking these little people, okay, which are around, so take one each.
And where you live.
Okay, and just put on the map where you live. Okay, guys, can you all come and sit round the table again, because we're going to do the last bit of it, which this really needs you to use your imaginations. Now, those young people, listen, those young people on the film were talking about things changing in the area, and they were afraid that some things would go that they were used to, some familiar places that they knew would be knocked down, and things would be put in their place, and they weren't quite sure what they were or whether that would be good or bad. Now what I'm wanting you to do is, we've got these cards here, and the first thing I want you to think about is, what would you like to get rid of in this area? What would you like to just send in the bulldozers?
How does write on this here?
Okay, well you can use the cards and write on the cards, okay? So I'll hand those out. So anything you'd like to just basically, you don't want it there, you want to get rid of it. Okay?
I'm gonna just put it.
And just, are you guys with us up here? Things you want to get rid of?
I don't know.
Things you want to get rid of?
This may not happen usually, but it does happen.
Okay.
And I don't know.
All right. Well, you're the planners now. You're people deciding what happens in this area. Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Good one. So put that on the area where you think that's the main issue.
North Village. That's North Village.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, just here you go.
Well. Okay. Well, North Village is here more, isn't it? Or it's the whole area, you think? The whole area. Okay. All right. Something you want to get rid of? Anyone wants to get rid of London City Airport?
No!
All right.
I'm not be flying there. It has to be cancelling my flight. No, you can't. I'm going to leave for it.
All right. No vote for London City Airport. All right.
I'll have to pay to get to London City Airport, like.
Right. What would you guys like to get rid of?
£2.
The what?
The River Thames.
The River Thames. All right. Stick it on.
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay, fine. No more River Thames. Well, the way things are going with global warming, you may get your wish. Who knows?
The disposal.
What should I redesign?
Ah, right. Good one. Do you want to put that on? Yeah, that's a good one.
The Greenway.
I left the
The
furthest
Greenway,
from
okay.
here.
Why do you get rid of the
I
Greenway?
left the furthest.
It smells.
That's because of the disposable waste.
Okay.
If you think about it, there's
Yeah.
the waste underneath the greenway.
Right, the sort of sewage. Yeah.
Where does that come from? The water itself.
Where's the wood ferry?
Right, that's a very good point.
That's hence the reason why
Oh no,
Bedford
do you know this
smells really
Yeah.
bad.
Of course, before, when it was a gasworks, it also smelled actually.
Woolwich
So,
Ferry.
still, yeah. Okay,
Woolwich
so put that
Ferry, you want to
over
get
at
rid of Woolwich
Bexham.
Ferry?
Is this redesigned?
You want to get rid of the ferry?
Is it
No,
around
it
there?
says redesign.
You are, right, okay, we'll come to that in a minute.
That's
Okay,
good, that's-
we're the bulldozers at
Remove
the moment,
what?
right? We're doing bulldozers, okay? So you put
waste.
stuff,
You're
well,
meant
you want to
to
get rid of the
write-
waste string, right. Now, the next one is, what would you like, well, maybe this is a hard one for you guys to kind of imagine, but maybe I could turn to the adults here. at this point. What would you like to put back that's no longer around? Something maybe it's been knocked down, or you'd like a new building in its place, or you'd like something to kind of reinstate something that's been...
Reinstate.
Yeah. Any ideas of things that you'd like?
Legoland. Legoland was knocked down.
Grenfell Tower.
Grenfell Tower. Right. Well, we'd have to put on this map.
Oh yeah,
you want
the
to put
Grenfell
that
Tower.
there?
Do you remember
This is the
72
local
people
one. This is
died?
London as a whole. Okay. So you need to write that down or draw it. Maybe draw the tower. And yeah.
Everybody.
And right. Okay. I think that one's a difficult one for you guys perhaps to think about.
I said Grenfell.
But what about something that is sort of is around, but you'd like to be used for something else?
Oh.
So, for example, if there's
Stratford Park.
I don't know,
Can I have some
something that a building that is empty, not being used, that you might like to put it into use.
There used to be a hotel, wasn't it? Just over
Stratford Park.
Is that
There's
Right.
someone
Oh, I
drugs
know the one you mean. Yeah.
You're gonna put
Yeah.
that left. You need to put that.
Right.
Are you colorblind?
Right. And there's nothing going on there.
nothing really going on?
Right.
No, it's not.
Well, that would be a good one to put on the called repurpose, but just maybe put a little
that's-
drawing
you don't
of
need
it
that much.
and put it on the map.
Yes,
Um,
I'm kind of blind because I'm wearing glasses.
Okay, so that's that one.
No, this is
Um,
triangle.
Now this one, the last one.
Give me the whole thing.
It's like triangle.
Okay.
Nah,
All right.
Wait, what?
Now, do you remember in the film the young people said there's no swimming pool in this area?
Uh-huh.
Is there a swimming pool in this area still?
No, there's UEL.
There is?
There's UEL
Oh, UEL,
in this
yes.
area.
Yeah.
And they have a swim. Do they?
No, they don't have a
They don't have a swimming pool. Oh,
I don't think they do. I used to work there and I don't remember a swimming pool.
They're building one.
Are they?
No, because you know the way I enter, it says,
You used to work
it's
there.
like somewhere
Yeah, I
around
used to work there.
here. It says they're building a swimming pool. I
Really?
don't know where.
They've got a sports centre there, which is one of the things they got from the Olympics. I didn't know they had a swimming pool. So that'd be a plus, wouldn't it? I mean, is there... Well, so the question is, what would you like to build? You're the planners, you're the architects. What would you like to build and have something here which doesn't exist at the moment? Okay, so have a think. Have a think.
A flying car.
A flying car, okay. Whatever.
That's talking about the future right
Okay. Do you want to try that? You want to try that? Try and think of something new,
A flying
something you want to build.
Squishy shops.
That's your life, man.
Yeah. Oh, wait, yeah.
Would you like
Nice one. So,
Oh,
do you wanna build?
Yeah, that's. Oh, that'd be a miracle.
JD, buy shoes for £2.
okay, all right. Well, write whatever it is. Write it on the card.
That was my field.
A cheap JD. Go there every single day.
That's your deal.
I want to create.
That's my field.
Oh, I know.
images.
I know.
Yes, I'm going to give you a midget seat.
A-
You are arguing with me. Can I have some time? Okay. You want me to really make
All right. We've only got a couple of minutes because we're coming to the end now. So, think. What would you like to build here?
I've got your
Or wherever you want to put it.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Love that one.
Okay.
Yeah, how much being gallery right now?
All right. Go on. Write on it.
Like,
What do you
here,
blue one?
right somewhere.
What would you like?
Next to
Either
5
take away
Cheap
them,
JD.
something you want to put in its place.
I already said
Like,
it.
no one's in charge of you.
No.
It's like you can go there any time.
What will I write this?
Just pay it anywhere. Big.
I'll just copy it.
Yeah.
levels of
Yeah. So it's like something.
Right now.
I need to go to central London.
Oh, there was it?
London. Yeah.
you could say a space
I only have two stripes.
You have 3, 4, and this goes, and you have 3, 4.
Oh, right. Well, now, we've got someone here who wants to
I got one
redesign this
stripe.
building. Right. Okay, so there you
I
go.
got one stripe.
Right. Now, what are you guys going to put here?
A theme park.
3 for
Great, great, good idea. Right.
I got one.
You know, when the docks closed, there was something called the People's Plan for the Royal Docks. And it was local people got together and they thought, yeah, I'm not sure we want an airport, we can do something else. We could have some light industry, we could have boat building, we could have cheap housing for ordinary people going right around the docks. And they produced a plan called the People's Plan for the Royal Docks. And they went to a big inquiry and they won that inquiry. And then unfortunately the government came along and said, I'm sorry, we're going to have the airport and all this other stuff. So it never happened. But what you guys have been doing right now is your own version of a People's Plan for the Royal Docks. Okay? I think you've all done brilliantly. Yeah, go on.
Oh, I think I forgot to write this, but I also think that there should be like some flat for like people that live on the streets.
Right, that's a really, really good. That's a really good suggestion. So can you?
Abandoned car parks. People should make houses in there.
Right, that's a great idea. So is there any abandoned car park here where you think that could happen?
Yes, everything.
Show us. Show us. It's not all a car park, is it? So show us where you could have proper housing for people that need it. Do you want to write that down and stick it on the map?
Down for me.
What is this?
Well, that was for arrows, places you want to go. Okay, so I'm just keeping an eye on times because we nearly are coming to an end of this. Do you want to put your idea for flats on vacant places? Do you think the flats that have been built for very well-off people should change that so those kinds of flats are available for people who haven't got so much money?
I think
That would be a good idea.
cheaper housing.
Cheaper housing. Right.
For
Okay.
ordinary people.
Right. That's really, really, really good.
I'm
That's
just putting it
basically
anywhere
what I'm
because
writing.
people need houses.